Here's how to create a Niagara ribbon laser effect in Unreal Engine. First, create a new Niagara system. In this case, we're going to use the Ribbon Shapes template. Go ahead and give your system a name, and then double-click to open it up. Let's head to the ribbon renderer starting off, and we're going to change the material to use the default ribbon material. From there, we're going to change the facing mode to screen, and then we'll expand the UV settings. We have to swap from tiled to either uniform or non-uniform. Then I'm going to switch the shape to plane, and then we'll change some of the curve tension settings to be 0.99. And then last, we'll go into rendering and change the motion vector setting to disabled. This will prevent any flickering. The emitter state will be default settings, and then we're going to delete the spawn burst and add in the spawn rate. In this example, I'll use 500 starting off. Let's go to initialize particles, and we're going to change the lifetime to be 0.1, so it flickers more. Then we'll change the color to a bright red, and we'll enhance that by 300. That way it's a little emissive. Then we'll go to the ribbon width, and we'll set it to a value of 1, and we'll disable the ribbon facing mode to unset. Let's get rid of some of these other settings. In the particle state, let's enable the kill particles when lifetime is reached, and then we'll add a sample skeletal mesh. And then in the left-hand column, we're going to find the particle position node, and then drag that under the sample skeletal mesh. And then we have to find the sample skeletal mesh position and drag that into the bottom column here. Then we'll head back to the skeleton mesh, and we need to give it an actual skeleton. I'm going to use the default skeleton cube in this example, and then I'm going to open that up. Last setting we got to do is the skeleton bones and sockets will need to be set. And now let's modify our actual skeleton. I already have it up here. And then you can choose the skeleton in the top right corner. Now I've added some sockets. You can simply right-click on Bone 02 and add a socket, and then you position the sockets how you want the laser effect to look. So you can draw any design or pattern you want. You can do 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional, doesn't matter. Once you've done that, you go back into your skeletal mesh settings and you add in your single bone, and then the number of sockets that you've created. The order doesn't matter because they are being fed randomly, so you can add them in however you wish. Now we can preview the effect in the details window here. You can make other adjustments like the flicker rate, spawn rate, and the ribbon width, and you'll get different effects here, but I'm going to head into my enemy pawn, and you can see the effect is already added. You'll need to add the skeletal mesh that you used, and then as a child, you can add the Niagara effect. Both need to be on the actual pawn for it to show up in Editor when you're running. And just like that, you've created a laser ribbon effect using skeleton bones and sockets in Unreal Engine. Enjoy.